Hello, I'm Sneha Koshi and let's take you through all the top stories. The Economic Survey 2023, which was tabled, had pegged India's gross domestic product growth for fiscal 2023-24 at 6% to 6 to 8%. The survey was presented by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in Parliament. Chief Economic Advisor V. Anantha Nageshwaran on Tuesday said the economy's recovery from the pandemic is complete, supported by non-banking and corporate sectors.
The Indian economy's recovery from the pandemic is complete, says the Chief Economic Advisor as he explained the economic survey that he led.
State of the economy, recovery complete. And therefore, after a long time, we have banking, non-banking and corporate sectors with healthy balance sheets, and they are ready to borrow and lend and invest. So we don't have to speak about pandemic recovery anymore. India's GDP growth is poised to do better in the remainder of this decade, and that is the focus of this economic survey itself.
The report card of the Indian economy forecasts a 6.5% GDP growth in the financial year 2024 with a range of 6 to 6.8%, retaining India's status as the fastest growing economy. In an exclusive interview to NDTV, the Chief Economic Advisor highlighted risks that could take the GDP growth lower than the forecast.
The downside risk is slightly higher than growing above 6.5%. So growing below 6.5% has a higher chance than growing above 6.5%.
The current year's GDP growth is pegged lower at 7%, higher than the forecast by the RBI, the IMF and the World Bank. The economic survey said that India staged a full recovery ahead of many nations, primarily due to consumption and capital expenditure. On employment, the survey said that labour markets have recovered to pre-COVID levels in both rural and urban areas. The opposition pointed out how the previous economic survey predicted an over 8% GDP growth for the current year, but the figure has now been reduced to 7%. On inflation, the economic survey said that while India's retail inflation peaked at 7.8% in April 2022, it was however one of the lowest in the world. But the survey said that the Reserve Bank is still likely to keep interest rates higher, meaning loans could get more expensive. Like inflation, the survey said that the Indian rupee also performed better than peers, but the currency has risks from higher import bills. On the health front, the government highlighted the reduction in out-of-pocket expenditures. The survey comes ahead of the union budget. For years, experts have been demanding a tax relief.
हो सकता है कि tax rates reduce करे for the low income segment. The second can be by reviewing the tax slabs itself. So that we would leave it to the finance ministry to decide what is the appropriate way. लेकिन हमारे हिसाब से ये करने से जो common man है इन्हें greater security मिलेगी. एक बार greater security हो तो उनकी spending भी increase होगी. And consumption is a very large part of our economy. तो हमारे consumption driven growth ये continue रहनी चाहिए.
The other highlights of the economic survey included confidence that the government is on track to achieve its fiscal deficit target of 6.4%. It also put climate change in focus, echoing the call for climate finance and highlighting the upside risks to food prices caused by climate change. The survey said that economic growth will be boosted with measures to boost manufacturing. It remains to be seen whether the budget will focus on similar themes as well. In New Delhi with Himanshu Shekhar, Priyanka Sharma for NDTV.
And during the first day of the budget session in Parliament, President Murmu lauded the fearless, decisive government, while Prime Minister said India's budget will be a bright spot in global economy. Aam Aadmi Party and K. Chandrasekhar Rao's newly christened BRS party boycotted President's address.
हमें सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक से लेकर आतंकवाद पर कठोर प्रहार तक एलओसी से लेकर एलएसी तक हर दुस्साहस के कड़े जवाब तक आर्टिकल 370 को हटाने से लेकर 3 तलाक तक मेरी सरकार की पहचान एक निर्णायक सरकार की रही है.
In her first address to Parliament after being elected the 15th President, President Draupadi Murmu underlined the vision of the BJP-led NDA government. A Bharat which has no poverty and where the middle class will also be prosperous by 2047.
हमें 2047 तक ऐसे राष्ट्र का निर्माण करना है जो अतीत के गौरव से जुड़ा हो और जिसमें आधुनिकता का हर स्वर्णिम अध्याय हो। हमें ऐसा भारत बनाना है जो आत्मनिर्भर हो।
President Murmu also spoke about India's post-pandemic recovery.
मेरे सरकार ने राष्ट्रहित में जो भी निर्णय किए उससे साथ भारत का बाकी दुनिया से बहुत बेहतर स्थिति में।
Addressing the media before the start of the budget session, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that not just India but the entire world is looking at India's budget, which will be presented on Wednesday.
हमारे देश की वित्त मंत्री भी महिला हैं। वे कल और एक बजट लेकर के देश के सामने आ रही है। आज के वैश्विक परिस्थिति में भारत के बजट के तरफ न सिर्फ भारत का लेकिन पूरे विश्व का ध्यान है।
While the Aam Aadmi Party and the BRS boycotted the President's address, other opposition parties attended the joint sitting of the Parliament.
हमें जो देखने को मिलता है वो ये है कि कथनी और करनी में अंतर दिन पे दिन बढ़ते जा रहे हैं। चारों तरफ बेरोजगार, चारों तरफ आर्थिक जर्जर हालत, किसानों की दुर्दशा, बदहाली सब हम देखने को मिलते हैं।
While the Aam Aadmi Party cited the government's failure to fulfill promises as the reason for skipping the President's address,
while government has reached out to the opposition parties to cooperate for the smooth functioning of the budget session, opposition parties led by Congress to meet on Wednesday morning to chalk out a joint strategy for the budget session. With camera person Gauri Prasad, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
And Kerala journalist Siddique Kappan, arrested on terror charges, has not been released even a month after he got bail due to bureaucratic lapses. While he was supposed to walk out on Tuesday, sources said he cannot be released since the district judge of the Special Court on Prevention of Money Laundering was busy with a Bar Council election.
Well, absolutely, Sneha, and as you rightly pointed out, Siddique Kappan was expected to walk out of jail today after nearly 2 years of being in prison. And remember, he got bail in December. The Allahabad High Court gave him bail in the second case, which was in the money laundering case registered by the Enforcement Directorate, which basically meant that in both the cases filed against him, both under UAPA, which is a strict anti-terror law, as well as a money laundering case. In both these cases, he was given bail. Despite that, it's been over a month and he continues to be in jail. Now we spoke to his lawyers and they said that his sureties, which were verified by local authorities yesterday, was the last step to secure the release order. So his sureties in fact came to court today as summoned, and despite that the judge, the district judge of the PMLA court, the special money laundering court, did not turn up because he was busy with some bar council election. Now they of course say that this is just a way to keep him behind bars, though there has been no response as of now as far as the district judge, the district court is concerned, and the lawyers are expecting to secure the release order tomorrow. So they're going to attempt to sort of secure that release order, which is the last step for him to actually walk out of jail tomorrow. But the fact, Sneha, is that this points out to a larger problem. The fact is that there are many people, as pointed out by Supreme Court bench as well, there are many people who have been given bail by courts, but they still continue to languish in jail because of these procedural delays and bureaucratic lapses. So of course that is something that needs to be looked at. In fact, the Supreme Court bench also directed local courts to publish data of such cases where the accused has been given bail but still continues to be in jail. So of course, I remember Siddique Kappan, a lot of public sentiment also involved as far as this case is concerned, because he was arrested on his way to Hathras, where he was going to cover the horrific rape and murder of a 19-year-old scheduled caste girl. So of course, journalists also came out in huge support, activists as well. So it remains to be seen when he actually gets bail, walks out of jail. It's been a month, over a month in fact, since he got bail in both the cases, Neha.
Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee visited Nobel laureate Amartya Sen at his home in Shantiniketan, for which he has received multiple notices from the Vishwabharati University and handed him what she said were documents to prove his land ownership. On Monday evening, Mamata Banerjee was seen handing over the documents and declaring that her government would explore legal action against the Vishwabharati University.
Mamata Banerjee in defense of Nobel laureate Amartya Sen. After controversially, Vice-Chancellor of Vishwabharati University accused Sen of not having proper ownership papers for his house in Shantiniketan. The Vice-Chancellor had accused Sen of land grab. In a strong message, Mamata Banerjee went personally to meet Amartya Sen at his residence, announced Z-category security for the 89-year-old Nobel laureate and used the occasion to take on the BJP.
এই কাগজটি আমি তুলে দিয়ে গেলাম সদ্য অমর্ত্যদের হাতে আগামী দিন তাকে অসম্মানিত করার চেষ্টা যেন এইভাবে বিজেপিরা না করে বিশ্বভারতীকে আমরা সবাই রবীন্দ্রনাথের চোখে দেখি গৌরকীকরণের চোখে দেখি
জমি নিয়ে যে তর্ক বিতর্ক হচ্ছে এই তর্ক বিতর্ক অত্যন্ত ক্ষুদ্র এবং যারা হঠাৎ আমাকে বাড়ি ছেড়ে চলে যেতে বলছেন তাদের উপদেশের উপর আমার যে খুব আস্থা আছে এটা বলতে পারছি না।
Mamata Banerjee hit out at a letter sent to the octogenarian by Vishwabharati University alleging Amartya Sen illegally usurped 13 decimals more land than what was allotted to his late father Ashutosh Sen. Mamata Banerjee said 1.38 acres had been allotted according to the state government land records, while the allotted land was 1.25 acres claimed the university. Mamata Banerjee has asked the university to apologize, pointing to the Vice-Chancellor's statement, questioning even Sen's Nobel Prize. The BJP says Amartya Sen should not get involved in this kind of controversy, but this face-off involving a respected university and an equally respected Nobel laureate has left perhaps an unsavory taste in the academic palate of Bengal. With camera person G.D. Shankar in Kolkata, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Welcome back. Power outages in parts of Kashmir after the snowfall have been reported. In fact, traffic was restored on the Srinagar-Jammu National Highway after remaining closed for 2 days. Highway was closed due to multiple landslides.
Flights resumed at Srinagar after Monday's incessant snowfall shut the airport totally.
अपने दिल खोल कर प्यार दिया
But Rahul Gandhi, whose Bharat Jodo Yatra ended yesterday at Srinagar, and other senior Congress leaders could not make it back in time to Delhi for the President's budget session address. Before leaving Srinagar, Mr. Gandhi went to pray at the famous Kheer Bhavani temple and the Hazrat Bal shrine in the town. The disruption in flight operations and the closure of the Srinagar-Jammu National Highway because of the weather has left many tourists stranded.
5 बजे की फ्लाइट है। वही है, कल की एक डिले नहीं हुआ तो अच्छा है कल का फ्लाइट। इधर से जम्मू के निकलने के लिए भी बहुत कोशिश की, रास्ते बंद है और ट्रेन का रास्ता भी नहीं है, कार का रास्ता भी नहीं, बस का भी नहीं, इसलिए आज सवेरे फिर टिकट मिला एक।
The Srinagar-Jammu National Highway, the only road link that connects Kashmir with the rest of the country, is closed for the last 2 days. Hundreds of vehicles remain stranded along the highway. Officials say even as restoration work is underway, more landslides are hampering clearance.
Efforts are on to rescue traffic on the national highway. The district administration has made attempts and arrangements to lodge the stranded passengers. Yesterday, some passengers were stopped at Ramsu. I just spoke to the National Highway Authority of India representatives, and they have assured that they will be able to restore traffic.
Snowfall has also hit power supply in several places. Officials say electricity was restored in all districts today.
A day after heavy snowfall, normal life is leaping back to normal in Kashmir. Officials say Srinagar-Jammu National Highway has been restored for traffic this evening after remaining closed for last 2 days, and hundreds of stranded vehicles are being cleared. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi for NDTV.
And the Adani Group has acquired the Haifa port in Israel. According to the Israel Prime Minister, Adani deal is an enormous milestone. Haifa is the second largest port in Israel. In fact, Israel Prime Minister has said that we see this as a tremendous boost for peace. And 100 years ago, brave Indian soldiers helped liberate Haifa port. Robust Indian investors helping to liberate Haifa port today. The Indian soldiers had helped liberate Haifa city 100 years ago. I stand corrected. Also, Haifa is the second largest container shipping port in Israel, and the Israeli Prime Minister has said this is something that he had raised with the Indian Prime Minister, his counterpart, earlier. Big announcement by Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy that Visakhapatnam will be their capital in the days to come, and that he himself will be shifting to Vizag as well.
Here I am to invite you to Visakhapatnam, which is going to be our capital in the days to come. I myself would also be shifting over to Visakhapatnam in the months to come as well. And we are organizing this global summit, investor summit in Visakhapatnam on March 3rd and 4th.
And Sonu Sood is an actor, philanthropist and humanitarian. Through the pandemic, when thousands of migrant workers had nobody, they had Sonu Sood. He helped them get home and continues to provide medical and educational support to thousands. He is shaping the future of young India, and for this, he is a true legend.
Sonu Sood is an Indian actor, film producer, model, humanitarian and philanthropist who, through his foundation, the Sood Charity Foundation, has worked tirelessly in various fields. In 2020, during the nationwide lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Sood helped thousands of stranded Indian migrant workers to reach their homes by arranging buses, special trains and chartered flights. In 2020, he arranged a chartered flight to bring home over 1,500 Indian students stranded in Kyrgyzstan. His charity during the pandemic was lauded, and he was hailed as a real-life hero in India.
Be remembered for good.
An actor, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, and husband Nick Jonas officially introduced their daughter to the world. She revealed Malti Mary's face to the media and fans for the first time weeks after she turned 1. The face reveal came at the Jonas Brothers Walk of Fame ceremony attended by musician Nick Jonas and his brothers Kevin and Joe.